What's up, fam? I am Chosen 144. You are a divine being. You are far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. I mean that. And you are far more intelligent than you think you are. You have access to all of the information. Without reading books, you have access to all of the information without the fucking internet. You have access to all of the information without somebody telling you what's what. It's imprinted in your DNA, okay? I hear people talking about it, like, in the spiritual community, whatever people want to call it, talking about the Akashic records. What the fuck do you think that is? Why do you think I always push meditation? You have access to it all via meditation, okay? The thing is, people are so distracted, okay? People are so busy, so energetically invested in this, that, or the other, that they can't receive the information. They can't even comprehend it, okay? Due to the level of consciousness it requires to comprehend such information. Now, to become less distracted, to become able to receive the messages, we must meditate, okay? To clear up that chatter that's going constantly in the mind. Because your reality is basically a result of what's going on in your subconscious mind, okay? People don't realize this. They are creating, you are creating your reality play by play, all day, every day. Your words, your thoughts are creating your reality, but it's all coming from the subconscious mind, and this subconscious mind needs to be cleared up, okay, of all of the chatter, because it's trying to hear a faint whisper in a room of 1,000 people that are trying to tell you about their day at the same time, okay? That's how it is. That's how your mind is without meditation. It is literally you standing in one corner of a room that's 100 meters corner to corner, full of people trying to tell you about their day, and there is a child in the far corner whispering information to you. That's how hectic it is up there at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Got to meditate to clean it all up, okay? Think of it like this. This is a computer. Your brain is a fucking computer. It is. We run off electricity and magnetism. If you were to ask me what is God, I would tell you electricity and magnetism. Red shift, blue shift. That's God, right? So that's you. Sorry about that. I'm getting a bit involved here. So, this is a computer. The RAM, Aries, the head, the RAM. It's programmable, okay? So you go to work, you're taking in information, somebody's asking you a question, you're processing that. You're thinking about getting your tyre changed. You're processing that. Where's that going to happen? Is that going to happen before or after work? You're thinking about picking the kids up from school. You're thinking about, what am I going to do next for the next meal that I'm going to make? All this shit's happening, okay? And it's all happening on top of each other. Like, meditation is basically allowing the computer to process things. Okay? So you think about this. The brain's a computer. You know how you press a button to command something of the computer. And if you get impatient and start pressing it more and more and more, it takes longer because it's sorting out command after the next command after the next command, and it's taking its time to process the commands to fulfill them. Meditation is the person stepping away from the keyboard and allowing the computer to process all of the commands that it's got lined up, waiting. You know what I'm saying? It's like a queue of thoughts that must be processed and released. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they all stay there. Meditation allows for the keyboard to be left alone so that the computer can catch up, okay? Now, if you haven't been meditating all your life, there's a bit of catching up to do. So when you meditate, things are happening, okay, in the subconscious mind. It may not seem like it, but things are happening. There are energetic releases. There are like emotional releases. There is regeneration happening in the body, okay, because you're taking in a lot of breath, a lot of deep in through the nose breath, rather than these little mouth breaths and things like that. It is doing all sorts of fantastic things without you realizing. Now, because we've been taught to expect instant gratification for something that we do, meditation is sort of like, I hear people say things like, I can't do it, I don't know how, meditation's hard. It is literally just sitting doing nothing. Breathing deeply, in through the nose, out through the nose, out through the mouth. Out through the nose is better, I won't go into that. But in through the nose, deep, out through the nose or mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's regenerating your blood. It is regulating your nervous system, which controls fucking everything, including psychic ability, by the way. I am telling you, meditate daily, and you will be healing yourself. You will be clearing up so much garbage that has been stored in that subconscious mind that has been literally why your reality hasn't been what you desire. You know what I'm saying? The subconscious mind is running the show, and people just go, oh, well, that's fate. You know what I'm saying? It's not the way that it works. You are in full control once you clear up the subconscious mind, okay? You will no longer be unconsciously living. You will be consciously living, consciously creating, consciously making decisions, constantly consciously processing information. You know what I'm saying? Everything will start to be done via the light of consciousness rather than out of the subconscious mind. Okay? When you're consciously creating your reality, you're in full control. This is a dream and you are lucid dreaming and calling the shots, basically. When the subconscious mind is full of garbage, it's running the show and you have no idea that it's running the show and you're calling that fate. Okay? You're the creator. You have access to all the information. You know, when people talk about Akashic records, you, via meditation, have access to it all. Okay? You know, when you've heard of these phenomenon where somebody just wakes up and they know 8 languages, or they have a skill set they didn't realize they had, and I mean an intricate skill set, it's because of this. They entered an altered state of mind a theta state of mind, and they consciously accessed information while they slept, okay? They literally meditated without realizing it, okay, when those phenomena happen. But you literally have access to everything. Now, the powers that were don't want that. They don't want you accessing your ancestors. They don't want you guided by the spirit realm. They don't want you having all of your energy freed up so that you can consciously create your own reality. They don't want that. They don't want you to realize that people are choosing to pay taxes. They don't want you to realize that when you get sent a bill, it's not a true bill, it's an account. Everything's already paid for. They don't want you to realize that your birth certificate is a representation of commerce happening in the background and you're the currency making billions of dollars. They don't want you to realize that shit. They don't want you to know that you're the currency. They don't want you to know that you are God. They don't want you to know that you can literally consciously create everything and anything that you want. They don't want you to know that you have access to all of the information. They don't want you to know this shit, okay? They don't want that. But when you realize the truth, when you realize that this physical body is capable of literally 90% more, you're going to trip. I'm telling you, via meditation, you wake up 90% of your brain that has not been in use. Okay? You wake up a high consciousness and you give back that 10%. That's been twisted and called tithing to make pastors and shit rich. You give 10% of your brain back in, and you reclaim that 90% that is the right brain. The creative, the intuitive, the part that lays dormant until you realize your own power. Meditate daily. This will change your fucking life. I fucking love you, fam. Peace, love, and light.